Hello and welcome to another video. In this one we're going to be talking about making a Windows executable with just plain Python. No need to have a C compiler. You can actually do this on any platform. And yeah, let's talk about that. So I found out this little technique while I was making a zip app for pre-commit, and I needed a special Windows executable to act as kind of like a little shim. But you know, I can think of all sorts of other applications for this as well because I didn't realize this was possible, and it's really easy to do. But yeah, I'm going to show you a very simple executable. It's just going to print some stuff, and yeah, we'll put that together. This is going to be based on zip apps, which I did a video on zip apps, so I'll link that in the description. We're not going to be using PyInstaller or any of the other executable creation tools. We're just going to be using, you know, plain basic Python commands and a few shell commands as well. But we're going to start by making a Python file, and we're going to convert that into a zip app, and we'll use that zip app later to make this executable. So to get started with that, oops, I'm not on the right window. If we first have to make a file called main.py. This will be the entry point to your zip app. In our case, we're just going to print hello world, as we do. Let's spell it correctly. And we can create our zip app using the zip utility. There's also a module in Python 3 called pydog zip app, and zip app has a create archive function. And you can use this create archive function if you want to write this in Python. I'm just going to use the zip tool on the command line because it's a little bit easier. And the way you do that is by doing out.pyz and main.py. So this will create a zip file called out.pyz and include main.py in it. And pyz files, if you make them, or if you run them with Python, you can make them executable and have a shebang as well. That's kind of what this create archive does for you, but we don't actually particularly care about that today. But if you run a zip app, for instance this, Python knows how to unzip this even though it's a zip file and run the text. This is kind of the TLDR of that other video, but I go into more details on that. But anyway, now that we have a zip app, what we're going to do is we're going to combine it with a launcher stub executable, which we're going to get out of a library called distlib. So first I have to install distlib. Pip install distlib, and distlib is what's used by several of the packaging utilities, so like pip, virtualenv, a couple of the other tools similar to those, use distlib in order to make installed state. And this particular executable is helpful for making scripts on Windows. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to touch an exe file. This is the executable file that we're going to create. I'm just going to start by making it an empty file first. So we're going to do touch out.exe. And if we look at it now, you'll see that file thinks that it is an empty file, which is correct. And we're going to cat a file inside the virtual environment in site packages distlib. So this is where it happens to install for me. Inside vm lib python 3.8 site packages distlib. On Windows, it'll be slightly different. Like it'll be capital lib. There won't be a version here. And then it'll be site packages distlib. But we're looking for t32.exe. And this is the stub executable that comes with distlib, and it has some slightly magical properties. But we're going to cat that and append it to our out.exe. Two arrows here mean append to this file. So we'll append to out.exe. The next thing we need to add to this executable file is a shebang. We can just use a dummy one here though. We can use bang or hashbang python.exe. I have a video about shebangs. I will link that in the description, and it'll kind of show you why this is a little bit bogus. But we're going to echo this and append that to our executable. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to append our zip app to this executable. So we're going to do cat out.pyz and append that to out.exe. And if we did everything correctly, on Linux you can look at out.exe and it should now say that it is a PE32 Windows executable for Microsoft Windows. And note that I'm running this on Linux, so I can't actually execute this on Linux without wine and a bunch of other stuff. But I can copy this to my Windows partition. If we do this out.exe to media t, we'll copy that into my shared folder on my Windows side. And if we open up Windows here, you'll see that we're able to type out.exe Well, first I'll just show you that it's there. You can see we've copied over out.exe. And if we run it, it prints hello, hello world, which is crazy to me. I think this is really, really cool. But anyway, the TLDR of it is that special t32.exe does some slightly magical things. When it runs, it opens itself and searches for a shebang, finds that shebang, converts that to a Python executable. So, python.exe becomes C Python 36 / python.exe or whatever Python version you're using. You can actually change that to be the PyLauncher as well. And then it opens the rest of the file and passes that as a zip app to Python. And so you can, run a Python zip app just from a executable shell. But I think this is really cool. And this is kind of an easy way to make a pure Python Windows executable. But anyway, if you guys have additional stuff you want me to explain, leave a comment below or reach out to me on the various platforms. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.